Good morning all. Today we will learn about ketone body metabolism. The objective of today's learning session is at the end of this video session you will be able to understand the metabolism of ketone bodies, that is ketogenesis and ketolysis. Along with that, you will be able to understand the mechanism which causes ketosis. The three important ketone bodies are acetone, acetoacetate, and beta hydroxybutyrate. They serve as a source of energy for extrahepatic tissues like heart, renal cortex, and in prolonged starvation, even brain starts utilizing ketone bodies for energy. Ketone bodies are synthesized in liver but utilized by extrahepatic tissue. Normally, their blood level will be less than 1 milligram per deciliter and excretion is less than 1 milligram per day. Now we will see the synthesis of ketone bodies. Majorly formed in liver and the starting material is acetyl-CoA, and in the hepatocyte, if you see the cell compartment, it is in the mitochondria. So the primary ketone body is the acetoacetate, from which acetone and beta hydroxybutyrate are derived. So they are called as secondary ketone bodies. Now we will see how exactly these ketone bodies are synthesized in a stepwise manner. Two molecules of acetyl-CoA condenses to form acetoacetyl-CoA with the release of a molecule of coenzyme A. This step requires thiolase enzyme. Now in the next step, one more molecule of acetyl-CoA condenses with acetoacetyl-CoA to form HMG-CoA. So the enzyme is HMG-CoA synthase, and again here a molecule of coenzyme A is released. In the next step, there is lysis of HMG-CoA into a molecule of acetyl-CoA and a molecule of acetoacetate. The enzyme which is required for this step is HMG-CoA lyase. So if you look at the steps, the initial two steps are similar to the cholesterol metabolism. But do remember the steps of ketogenesis occurs in mitochondria. So the primary ketone body which is synthesized is acetoacetate. Now we will see what happens to this acetoacetate. In the next step, the acetoacetate is non-enzymatically decarboxylated to acetone. So this is a spontaneous reaction where there is removal of carbon dioxide to form acetone. And also this acetoacetate is reduced to beta hydroxybutyrate. The enzyme is beta hydroxybutyrate dehydrogenase. So now these two, that is beta hydroxybutyrate and acetone, are called as secondary ketone bodies. So this is how the three important ketone bodies, acetoacetate, beta hydroxybutyrate and acetone, are synthesized in the body. Now we will look at the regulation of ketogenesis. Ketogenesis is regulated crucially at three important steps. One is at the lipolysis, second is at this level of beta oxidation, and third is at the level of oxidation of acetyl-CoA. So the conditions which increases lipolysis, for example, insulin deficiency. So there will be increased lipolysis where there is more production of free fatty acids from stored triacylglycerols in the adipose tissue. So when there is more free fatty acid influx into the liver, they are activated to acyl-CoA. The fate of acyl-CoA is it will go to beta oxidation. So normally what happens, whenever there is malonyl-CoA, it actually inhibits the CPT1 or otherwise known as CAT1, which stands for carnitine palmitoyl transferase 1 enzyme that is inhibited by malonyl-CoA. So if CPT1 is inhibited, then there won't be any beta oxidation because that is the gateway where the activated acyl-CoA enters the mitochondria. So whenever there is deficiency of insulin, malonyl-CoA is not formed, so the inhibition is released and there is more beta oxidation. So decreased insulin causes more lipolysis. Along with that, there will be more beta oxidation. So the end product of beta oxidation is acetyl-CoA. Now what is the fate of this acetyl-CoA? The major fate in normal condition is it is oxidized to carbon dioxide via citric acid cycle. But we know in conditions of starvation or insulin deficiency, there will be more of gluconeogenesis, which utilizes one of the intermediate of TCA cycle, that is oxaloacetate. When there is deficiency of oxaloacetate, TCA cycle will not operate in maximum. So there will be channeling of this acetyl-CoA to ketogenesis, that is formation of ketone bodies. So the regulation is at lipolysis step, second is at beta oxidation step, and the third is at oxidation of acetyl-CoA through citric acid. The combination of all these is production of excessive ketone bodies in the body. Now we will see how these ketone bodies are utilized in the body or otherwise the breakdown of ketone bodies. As initially said, they are produced in liver, but liver lacks the activating enzyme thiopurase. That's why liver cannot utilize ketone bodies. So ketone bodies, they are the fuel for extrahepatic tissues. Acetone being volatile, it is volatilized in lungs. The remaining two ketone bodies, that is acetoacetate and beta hydroxy, they are readily oxidized by extrahepatic tissues. Now we will see how exactly this ketolysis happens. Beta hydroxybutyrate can be converted to acetoacetate by beta hydroxybutyrate dehydrogenase. Again, it's a reversal of ketogenesis. Now this acetoacetate should be activated to acetoacetyl-CoA for further utilization. So this activation is done by succinyl-CoA. So the coenzyme from succinyl-CoA is donated to acetoacetate. So there will be formation of acetoacetyl-CoA and there is release of succinate. So now the succinate can enter TCA cycle. Also you should remember succinyl-CoA is an intermediate of TCA cycle. So the enzyme which helps in this activation is thiopurase enzyme. Further, acetoacetyl-CoA is split into two molecules of acetyl-CoA by thiolase enzyme after the addition of coenzyme A. So this acetyl-CoA can enter TCA cycle, then produce ATP. Apart from that, acetoacetyl-CoA also can enter beta oxidation and generate energy. This is how ketone bodies are activated and utilized by extrahepatic tissue. Because there is lack of this thiophorase enzyme, liver cannot utilize ketone bodies. Coming to the clinical significance, you are supposed to know three important terminologies: ketosis, ketonemia and ketonuria. Ketosis is a term referred to ketonemia, ketonuria and acetone breath. So this ketosis is seen when there is uncontrolled diabetes, starvation, hyperemesis, gravidarium and few other conditions. So if you see the ketone body which is more or predominant in ketosis is beta hydroxybutyrate. Ketonemia means increased level of ketone bodies in blood, which is a result of excessive production rather than a decreased utilization. Ketonuria is nothing but excretion of ketone bodies in urine. Whenever the blood ketone body level exceeds its renal threshold, they overflow in urine. So whenever ketone bodies accumulate in blood, they tend to decrease the blood pH, causing ketoacidosis. Because ketone bodies are acids, they are neutralized by buffers, and when there is decreased buffers in the body, they usually cause metabolic acidosis. Salient feature of ketosis: metabolic acidosis, reduced buffers and Kussmaul's breathing, that is very typical of acidotic breathing during compensatory hyperventilation. So this Kussmaul's breathing is due to compensatory hyperventilation, and also there will be smell of acetone in the breath. As already mentioned, ketosis is seen in conditions like starvation and diabetes mellitus. So now we will see what is the biochemical basis for this ketosis. Whenever there is non-availability of glucose, for example in starvation, or decreased uptake and utilization of glucose due to insulin deficiency in conditions like diabetes mellitus, there will be increased mobilization of fatty acids for energy purpose. So this increased lipolysis causes excessive production of free fatty acids which are oxidized for energy purpose, and there will be overproduction of acetyl-CoA. So there is more of beta oxidation happening, results in overproduction of acetyl-CoA. So this acetyl-CoA, the major fate, it should enter TCA cycle and get completely oxidized. But in these conditions, TCA cycle will not be operating to the maximum because oxaloacetate, which is an intermediate of TCA cycle, is utilized in gluconeogenesis. So there will be deficiency of oxaloacetate, which actually inhibits or decreases the capacity of TCA cycle, leading into accumulation of acetyl-CoA and channeling this acetyl-CoA to form excessive amounts of ketone bodies in the body. So this is the biochemical basis of ketosis in both starvation and diabetes mellitus. So you have to remember this is mainly because of or mainly dependent on two factors. One is glucagon to insulin ratio and second is NADH to NAD plus ratio. Whenever insulin deficiency is there or glucagon to insulin ratio increases, lipolysis occurs, and also there will be decreased malonyl CoA production, which is an inhibitor of CPT1. So this inhibition is also released, so there will be more of beta oxidation. Along with that, there is decreased capacity of TCA cycle that also results in channeling of this acetyl-CoA to ketone body formation. These are my references. Thank you.